Hi, it's Coach Joe Lucas, and welcome to the Magellan Network Show. My goal inside of this communication, this show, is to share with you my nearly 30 years of coaching some of the most successful financial advisors in North America. We're going to be talking about strategies, syntaxes. We're going to be bringing guests on from time to time, and I'm going to share with you what's working now. So think of this show as sort of like a little one-on-one kind of mini coaching cast, if you like, where we're going to be going in depth from time to time on strategies to help you grow your business, get more effective, become more efficient, find balance in your time management, grow your business, and quite frankly, whatever else is going on in the world today. So before we get to today's episode, I'd love for you to do a couple things for me. Number one, make sure that if you're watching this on YouTube, that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're doing the audio, make sure that you give us a review on whether Spotify or Apple. We'd really appreciate that. And quite frankly, that does help. It does matter when you rate things and like things and subscribe to things. It helps us get the word out to more of the industry. And lastly, I have a very special gift for you. Go to MagellanNetwork.net, so one word, MagellanNetwork.net, and I have for you a complimentary membership, 100% gratis, where you can tap into about between 50 and 75 hours of masterclasses, forms, tools, templates, and strategies. So please go ahead and make sure you go get that claimed, smash the like button and subscribe. And please go ahead and leave us a review on whatever podcasting platform you're on. And now, let's get to this week's episode. Welcome to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Welcome to episode number 4 of our little mini masterclass here on optimization. Over the next 3 episodes, we're going to be covering branding, marketing, and business development. And we're going to break these 3 up into 3 separate episodes. That way we're not trying to do a 45-minute one. And I want to give each one of these topics the time and focus that they really do deserve for you to go ahead and kind of create an optimal situation when it comes to your branding, marketing, and business development. But before we do that, let's do a slight recap on our first 3 episodes. So what we're talking about in this series is optimization. Now, what is optimization? It's highest and best use, increasing profits, right? Increasing cash flow, getting the most out of every energy, effort, human being, relationship. Just think in terms of living on all aspects of your life in an optimal fashion. Now, we break up optimization into what we call 4 quadrants. First quadrant, which is episode number 1, is optimizing yourself. Quadrant number 2, episode number 2 is optimizing your team, right? The people around you. And then quadrant number 3 / episode number 3 is optimizing your client, which has been our biggest, got the most response, and so on. So today, in what we'll call module number 4, we're going to start the 4th domain, or the 4th area, which is going to be branding, marketing, and business development. So before we do that, let's break these up and why most advisors, by the way, what they tend to do is they put them all into one bucket, and they are really 3 very different and unique scenarios, right? So what is branding? Branding is what we like to call your storefront, your collateral. So that's your website, your social profiles, the content, positioning, ideal client, so on and so forth. Marketing is really your messaging. What are you pushing out? Newsletters, social content, videos, audios, blog postings, whatever, right? That's our marketing collateral. And then our biz dev is what I like to call the trench game, the ground game, right? That's referrals, that's introductions, that's COIs, that's networking, that's following up on prospects. And again, it's a whole different psychology and different discipline. So today, let's talk about branding. And a caveat real quick, I am not a branding expert. However, I work with some of the top branding experts in our space in conjunction with my personal clients. And I can tell you that what I'm going to share with you, they all will agree with. So first off is let's talk about the most important thing you have in terms of your brand, which is your website. Now, Most advisor websites suck, and I'll explain why in a moment. It pains me to no end when somebody's referred to me and I go to do my due diligence on them, which is basically Google search, and let's see what shows up, right? And inevitably, there are two things that are going to show up, pretty much number one and number two, which is going to be their website and then their LinkedIn profile. But let's spend a little bit of time on the website. So the most valuable real estate you have on your entire website is when you first open it up. What is the top third of that page? You know what most of you do? You have sailboats, lighthouses, forest, mountains, beaches, cityscapes. Like we're in the travel industry. Like that is the most valuable real estate you have, and yet you're putting things that are totally uncorrelated to what we do. Because it looks pretty, right? Best practice there, optimal, is a image of you and your team, or ideally a video slider, right? So this is what we're going to talk about very quickly. Video is the king, right, if you will, of influence. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then what is a video worth in terms of words? 10,000, 30,000, 100,000, right? So you want to take the top third and you want to own that with imagery. So ideally it's going to be video. If you can't do video, photos, but not of nature. Make it about you, your team, right? Make it about you, because that's what they're there for, right? And I know some of you are going to sit there and say, well, what is that? Look, I work on referral only. Here's why the website is so critical. And I don't care if you do no outbound marketing, two critical components. Number one, if you get referrals from clients, I will guarantee you whoever is getting referred to you is going to check you out. And they are going to formulate basically an initial determination, an initial bias, if you will, viewpoint on who you are and how you are based on your website. Because let me ask you a question. Have you been ever referred to anything, checking something? It was even like a restaurant. And you say, oh man, I'm going to check out these restaurants. I'm going to go on Yelp or something. And you look at some of these photos like, that doesn't really do it for me. That food could be fantastic, but I don't like the vibe of the website, so now we're going to do it, right? Or it's the website's from 1995, right? Don't kid yourselves. Websites matter. And if your website is not up to date, you're going to suffer. So that's issue number one. Issue number two, let's say you do a COI game. Let's say CPAs and attorneys. And let's say one of your centers of influence says, hey, you need a financial advisor? Well, I'm going to give you a choice of three. I think they're all three really good. And you should go interview all three. And then they what do? They check you out. And how you compare to the other two matters greatly. Don't kid yourself. So the website needs to be updated at least every 6 months. You want to be going back to your provider, asking them what's new, what can we do, what are we not doing that we can be doing, things like that. It's critically important. So mistake number one, how to optimize it. Video, please. Next. You've got to know who you are going after. So who is your ideal client? I hear this all the time. Well, Joe, I work with business owners. I want to work with business owners, and I want to work with pre-retirees, and I want to work with retirees. There's no way for you to put a killer website together to handle all three, because there's three different messages, three different pain points, three different sets of terminology, and so on. So it's very important that your website emboldens and really talks to who you are trying to talk to. Now, hi, Coach Joe Lukacs here, and I'm just breaking here for a moment just to do a couple quick reminders. Number one, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel or our podcast. In addition, please leave a comment or a review. Those things really, really matter. And share this episode with 3 of your colleagues inside the financial services space. And lastly, make sure that you go ahead and claim your free membership inside of Magellan Network. Now back to this week's episode. If you are sitting there saying, well, Joe, I do have 2 niches, then great. I'm not saying you have to create 2 websites, but it should say, hey, business owner, click here, retiree, click here. And then you have 2 different narratives, right? Don't try to put the whole narrative in one place. First of all, you'll have a confusing message. And then not only that, it will not be a powerful message because you're trying to talk to everyone. One of the most prominent business and marketing consultants told me this once. I've never forgotten it. If you're trying to speak to everyone, you're actually talking to no one. Okay, let me repeat that. If you're trying to speak to everyone, you are talking to no one. So just don't do that. Let's make sure we're very clear, right? Next, the bio. So here's what matters, right? So our landing page, right? Less is more. Images, pictures tells 1,000 words. So please don't junk it up with a bunch of copy. So that's page one. What's the next page people go to? Oh, the bios, the team, right? And this is your opportunity to really showcase who you are as a person. What do most advisors do? They end up with this very CV, if you will, resume-like. Talks about, your degrees, your designations, your licensing. Nobody cares. Okay? Nobody cares. What I need to see is you with clients. I need to see you with your family and friends. I need to see you with your animals. I need to make you a person. I need to know what you like to do when you're not doing what we do. I need you to become human. I need you to be approachable. A lot of advisors try so hard to be what I'll call, authoritative and highly educated that they actually turn the consumer off because they look unapproachable. So I want you to be approachable. So I want you, if you coach your kids' soccer league, then show a picture of you coaching, right? If you like to garden, show yourself a picture in the garden. If you like to hunt, go show yourself a picture in the wilderness. If you got a boat, do that. Like, don't be afraid to show who you are, because ultimately, that's what's going to determine whether they hire you. And I know what some of you are going to sit there and say, well, Joe, but I've got this team. I really don't. Like, it doesn't matter. You are the founder. You are the spokesperson. If they don't like the founder and they don't like the spokesperson, guess what? They don't care about the team. They just don't. Okay? So this has got to be done. So who you are as a human being, not just as a professional. Photos, personally and professional. The more photos, the better. And that goes for your entire team. So if you have a team of 2, team of 20, doesn't matter. Everybody's bio is written in English. It's like a story. It talks about their hobbies and interests, talks about their families, pictures of the families, pictures of the dogs, the cats, whatever you've got going on, goats, sheep, chickens, pictures, okay? Make it warm. Make it inviting. Make it like I want to come and talk to you. Make me want to approach you, okay? Super, super important. Next, somewhere in the copy, now we are going to talk a little bit about copy, is, a lot of people fall in love with their services. Oh, we do this, we do that, we do estate plan, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Give me, you want the most powerful narrative you can do? The first year working with us looks like this. Meetings, indoctrination, planning, whatever it is, right? Subsequent years look like this, right? Let them get a feel, put them in what we call future pacing. Let them think in the future, oh, this is what this relationship's going to look like. Every month they're going to reach out. Oh, we're going to have educational events to go to. Oh, I'm going to get 2 reviews a year. Oh, we're going to do tax planning. Like make it like it's a big deal so they can picture themselves in that scenario with you before they even meet you. Right? Before they even meet you. Critically important. Now, I'm going to broach something which is brandy new, and not everybody can do this, and even those that can do it, some of you are not clear how to do it because your compliance consultant's not clear how to do that. Understood. That will get clear. So, here in the United States, we are starting to be allowed to use client testimonials with certain restrictions and limitations. I will say this right now. Watch any TV program, I don't care, and I'm not saying you should watch infomercials for a living. That's not something I'd recommend. But why does Nike pay all their athletes all that money? Endorsement. What's an endorsement? It's a transference of goodwill. So in other words, you like that athlete, and this athlete uses this brand, therefore I'm going to like the brand, what it is, okay? So we're not going to go hire LeBron James or Michael Jordan. It would be cool, wouldn't it? But we can't do that economically. But what we can do is get 3, 4, 5 of our clients to do like a little interview and talk about our experiences. And again, there are limitations, and everybody's limitations based on your compliance consultant situation will be totally different. So I'm not going to get involved in, that's not the purpose here. It's the concept of doing it. Whenever I do a live event, I bribe attendees. And I say that, with a smile on my face. We give them swag, some shirts. Hey, give me 30 seconds or a minute. I have my team. We have a couple questions for you. We just want to go ahead and get some stuff on the board, right? And some are really great. Some are okay. Some you'll never use. That's okay. But you get them. Critically important, okay? Couple of things, and then we'll get you out of here on this episode. So after I have all that, please get rid of the contact us form. Nobody fills them out. It's a waste of real estate. How many contact us forms have you got filled out that were legit? That's what I thought. You're hard pressed to think of one. Here's what you need. You have to be very clear on what the call to action is. Okay? And there are two calls to actions you could possibly have. One you have to have, the other one is a good one to have. The first call to action, the must have, is talk to X, schedule a conversation. Don't talk about schedule a consultation. That's very formal. It should be like talk to Joe or talk to Phil or schedule a conversation with Phil or Zoom with Mike, right, or something like that. That I want it to be informal because it's just an intro. It's 30 minutes long, but you want to make it automated if you can. Now, some firms are still in 1990, and I know they won't let you do that because they don't trust you. But if you can do this, here's what you want to do. I don't care if you use Calendarly, OneSub, I don't care which one, doesn't matter. Automatic scheduling tool, where if I'm looking at your website on a Saturday night at 10 o'clock, and God help me if that's what I'm doing, but let's just say I was, and I want to schedule a meeting with you for the next week or two, I can do that Saturday night at 10 o'clock. I don't have to fill out a form. You may or may not see. I got to call you on Monday? I already forgot to do that. So guess what? Make it easy. Very simple. Make it prominent. Make it prominent on every page what your CTA, which is call to action, is. Now, we want that everywhere. The second thing, if I can, is not everybody's ready for a conversation, right? Maybe somebody doing a Google search on financial advisors in XYZ town, and they're not ready to sit down yet. They're not ready for that consultation or the introduction, I should say, introductory conversation. So then the second offer would be, hey, get on our newsletter list. Or download this or something, somehow to capture, right, their information, capture their name. Doing things like that is critically important. So these are just some things that we want to do in terms of branding. Now, real quick, and again, I don't want to go too long with this, but social profiles, again, your LinkedIn profile needs to be up to date. So everything that is on your website needs to be on your social, photos, everything, narrative, bio, all that. All your team members need to have their social profiles on LinkedIn, and you need a company page on LinkedIn. Make sure that's happening. And that goes with Facebook and everything else, right? So again, just kind of rinse and repeat what we're doing here. We're not going to get into messaging right now. That's the marketing part, which will be next week, obviously. But these are just some things that when I look at when I look at a potential new client, and I'm going over, I'm making notes. Hey, look, I'm like, okay, where's the call to action on the website? It's okay. This is boring. That's it's a CV, not really a story. And remember, that is first impression. That is your storefront. That will either make or break a referral in a lot of cases. That will either make or break somebody that wanders in off the internet. And you cannot afford in the 21st century to lazy that. Okay. Think of it as if we were bricks and mortar. Let's say we were going to open up a restaurant or anything. It doesn't matter. If you can have the best of anything behind the door, but if the outside of the building looks like it's ready to fall down / be condemned, you might get some people in there. They're curious, but you're going to leave a lot of business on the table, and we don't want to do that. Okay? So that is my advice to optimizing your branding, which includes your website and your social thing. I'm not the expert, but I'm just relaying what experts have told me and what I've experienced. So compare to what I just said to what you're currently doing. And if you don't like what you're doing, then please seek out your. If you need resources, hey, just reach out to me. I'll point you in the right direction on the people that I recommend my clients to. They're best of class, top notch. You would know them if you heard their names. And with that, thanks for watching and listening to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. And I will be back. Yes, I know it'll be a holiday weekend, but let's talk a little bit about marketing next week, okay? Thanks a lot. See you in 7 days. Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Hey, if any of this resonated with you, I invite you to come to MagellanNetwork.net, and we have a powerful group coaching community of like-minded advisors. Come in for a trial. You and I will have a one-on-one conversation. Let's see if I can help elevate your game, both personally and professionally.